Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Let's Go Racing Motorsports Report. I am Mike Babicz, your host, and the voice of some of the IRA events at Wilmot Raceway and other racing venues throughout this coming season. And I'll also be up at the Great Lakes Dragway from time to time, doing some calling of some of the action up there at Great Lakes Dragway. So welcome to the program. Looking forward to a great show tonight. We've got a lot of great guests that are going to come on and give us a lot of information. I mean, the weather's getting warmer a little bit, although now they're talking rain, snow mix this week, but that's okay. Next weekend, of course, spring forward, going to have that at a little bit extra daylight, and that means we're getting closer and closer to Let's Go Racing time. So, again, want to welcome everybody, and first thing I want to do is start off welcoming a new marketing partner with us. Joining us is Thomas Guard, worry-free IT at a fixed monthly rate. And you can contact Anna Stouffer, the CEO of Thomas Guard, at anna@thomasguard.com. She'll help you out. And I'll tell you what, they do fantastic work. They helped get a bunch of photos that were slowing my cell phone down. She helped me get those off of there and safely save them. And it's just, I mean, you need help in anything IT related. They can also take care of your website by building it, putting it together, by transferring it from another site, and monitoring it for you. So Thomas Guard was founded by her father, Tom Gottfried, who passed away within the last half a year or so. But Anna wants everyone to know the company is up and running. So reach out to Thomas Guard. Again, you can contact Anna at thomasguard.com. And again, we welcome them to our Let's Go Racing Motorsports Report marketing partner family. Also, some other marketing partners that we've still got our good friends from B&L Office Furniture, American Tire and Truck Repair of Kenosha and Lindenhurst. Of course, our studio here is provided by Scott Carpenter of B&L Office Furniture, Steve Sinclair and the Bumper to Bumper IRA Outlaw Sprint Cars. Again, I'm going to be announcing some of the IRA events for the wingless and the lightning sprints, and I'll be around for some of the events when the 410s are there as well. So I'm looking forward to working with Steve and his great crew. Steve going into the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame in May, and congratulations to him. Great Lakes Dragway, Randy and Connie there, and John will be with us shortly. Great Lakes Dragway, they've been busy during the, quote, off season, still doing things up there, and they've got some things coming up this month. So we'll get information on that from John. Hartnell Chevrolet, that came on board with us toward the end of last season. People Architectural Group, Sarah Missiel, the CEO and founder, and I'm going to show you a little something here. We've got an event coming up on April the 16th. It's called Let It Bloom. It's an HR workforce conference that's going to be at Bernie's Book Bank. That is on Wednesday, April the 16th. And plan on joining us. You can reach out to me, and I can get you more information on it if you want to attend, if you want to be a speaker on one of our panels. Anything HR related, we can help you out with it. So check us out, People Architectural Group. And then, of course, our good friends, Ted Nielsen at Nielsen Enterprises, John Hatterline, attorney at law, Kaylee Burns at the salon in Kansasville, my granddaughter that takes care of Grandpa's very depleting hairline. Fox Lake Harbor, Of course, Dave Mullis and his fine crew, Jack's Helmets, Force One Performance Products, Rely Local, the Hunt Club of Richmond, J&J Powder Coating, Midwest Motor Coach that provides the bus and transportation for the Lake County Honor Flight, and also Stars and Stripes Honor Flight, BJ, who is the head guy at Wilmot Raceway when it comes to the ambulance crew. He's been on that honor flight and is an ambassador for it, so reach out to him. We mentioned Wilmot Raceway. The IRA is going to open up the Wilmot Raceway season on May the 3rd, and we're going to talk a little bit about that in the second part of the show. Our good friends, Mark and Tony Maglio and the fine crew at Bodycraft, MLS Auto Clinic, Eddie and Debbie Boyd on board with us again this year, Waukegan Harbor Marina and Greentown on the Rocks, and yep, that means we've got a car show coming up, and that'll be coming up on Sunday. That's right, you heard me say Sunday, and that will be downtown on the lake once again, and that will be at the Greentown on the Rocks, and it will also be at the Waukegan Harbor Marina. So plan on joining us for that event, and that'll be coming up in May. It's going to be here before we know it, just a couple of months from tomorrow. So again, that is open to race cars, custom cars, and that's the annual Let's Go Racing Motorsports and Custom Car Show presented by our good friend Larry Roebuck. We also have, of course, Impressions Count, Randy and his crew here in Antioch, A-Main Apparel and Diecast, Garrett and the Tennyson family, Flow Racing and My Race Pass, Cabins on the Lake up there in Friendship, Wisconsin, the Northern Illinois Council on Alcoholism and Substance Abuse. They're going to have a NASCAR not-for-profit day that they can benefit from. So keep an eye on NICASA's website and NASCAR's website when they have their sharing day coming up. That'll actually be coming up, I think, sometime in May. Five-star race car bodies, Daniel Sanchez, Carl and Corey Schultz. We're going to make a road trip out to Five Star sometime this year. So be watching and listening for that. RC Electronics, Lake County Hose and Equipment, Bill Fusting, Buddies of McHenry, Weeby Waxon, Chad and his fine crew, Culvers of Paddock Lake, and Sleep in Heavenly Peace. We're going to talk more about that. They're going to have an event at Wilmot on September 13th, but we're also working to have an event at Hartnell Chevrolet and possibly one over at Great Lakes Dragway. So keep tuning in for more information on that great organization. And Whitmore's Towing and our good buddy Tom Eller also joining us this year. So again, if you'd like to join us as a marketing partner with the Let's Go Racing Motorsports Report, you can contact myself, you can contact Kent, you can go to the 216 The Net website and reach out to us. We'll explain to you how you can come on board and join us. Do want to give a kind of a sad note, but our thoughts and prayers go out with Steve Miller. And Steve, one of the greatest guys there is in racing, does a lot for racers, races himself in a IMCA type modified. And his dad, Al, passed away this past week. And so they're actually probably down at the funeral, and that's going to be coming up in the next couple of days. So our thoughts and prayers go out to Steve Miller and his family on the passing of his dad. So, all righty. And now we are ready to bring our first guest in, and it's going to be John from the Great Lakes Dragway or the Oval Office. I'm not sure. Yes, still in the Oval Office. So welcome, John. And I'll tell you what, I happened to see earlier this morning, you and the Brew City Gassers are going to be going and manning a booth next weekend, and you can give us more information on that. And then I think I also saw some information on the Great Lakes Dragway Facebook page that Great Lakes Dragway has a banquet coming up at the end of the month.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. First off, I'll say that we're going to be manning the booth down at the Chicago World of Wheels, and we'll be down there at the Rosemont there, Stevens Convention Center, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're going to have some schedules there to hand out and some other things with our race flyers. And then we're going to have one dragster, kind of a neat dragster set up, one of our members that we race with, and they're going to handing things out and have some videos playing on what was going on for the season for 2024, and just there to answer any questions and see what kind of promote the track and promote our race. And then, like you say, we've got a racers banquet that's March 29th over at the Tin Can Roadhouse that's in Union Grove there. Yeah, you can go on the website if anybody's interested. It's kind of a spring racers banquet, meet, greet, and eat, and get there, gather at 5 o'clock, dinner at 6, and they're going to have awards and recognitions to follow. But that's always a good event to try to kick off the season. And then opening day for the season should be April 5th, and that's the plan. And from April 5th through the 19th, it's kind of nice if you want to just pay spectator admission, you can race your car if you want to. So it's a good way to bring it out if you want to get some bugs out of it and come out for the opening couple weeks of the season there. Also on the 12th of April, we're going to have a chassis certification for anybody that needs an IHRE chassis certification. But
all right. Well, things are definitely continuing to be busy up there at Great Lakes Dragway, and I'm sure with the weather starting to get a little bit better, but even when the weather was snowy and the last time we were on last month, I mean, you had some drifters out there in the snow. And, I believe, is the drifting continuing, or is it kind of wound down for the year, or is it still going on?
It goes on a little bit. It's kind of slow, but they will come out on a Sunday or something like that. And the store is also open on Sundays if somebody wants to come in and get some merchandise or buy a fun racing pass or a spectator pass. They have somebody that's manning the store on Sundays, so that's good if anybody wants to come out there. We actually had Randy was saying that they did a track rental on the 28th, so they had somebody wanted to do a little testing on the track. So I was out there walking around today checking it out. Still a little bit sticky, which was pretty good for sitting all winter. When you get in the glue there a little bit, it's still got a little bit of stick to it, so that's kind of neat.
Well, and I got to ask you, I know it, and it might still be covered up. We've talked a lot about the snowmobile drags and that track that they've been working on and put together for last year and ran on the clay. And then we thought they were going to let the grass grow, but now it appears they're not letting the grass grow. So, and they covered it, I think you mentioned, with tarps and that for the winter. Are the tarps still on it, or have they pulled the tarps off?
Yeah, tarps are still on it, and a bunch of cement blocks, hundreds of cement blocks holding everything down there. I just looked at that today also, and I'm like, yeah, that was kind of waiting for it to warm up here, I guess. And I don't know what their schedule is. I'm going to have to talk to Randy and see what they've got figured out, what they want to race there, what their schedule is.
And I'm sure it'll be a little bit of time before the RC drags get out there.
Yeah. When it gets a little bit warmer out, the RC track, the strip there looks good. So I was just looking at that also. Kind of took a ride around there. They're renovating the tower, redoing the whole inside of it and everything, and the outside just kind of fixing it up and making it a little bit nicer inside there. It looks pretty good.
Well, that's great. Anything else that you want to tip your hat on that improvements that folks are going to see or changes that they'll see at Great Lakes Dragway in 2025?
For the drivers, probably. I know they said they were working in the showers. They were in the bathroom there for the people that were staying over, doing some work in there. But they're pretty much constantly doing something. And Frank that works out there, the carpenter, he's busy all winter long, and he's doing a good job, like I say, on the tower. And I don't know what he's going to be going on to next. I'll have to ask him when I see him out there.
There you go. Well, again, tell us a little bit about the schedule for the Brew City Gassers. When are you guys going to actually get points racing? I know that some of you may go out there and do some test and tuning, but when does the actual points racing start for you guys?
Well, we start out with the first Nitro Streetcar Brawl. We've got that going. We actually got April. First thing we're going to do is April, Spring Jefferson. One of our racers, Eric Essie, they run the Madison Classics out there where they have the big swap meets. So we're going to be out there the 25th and 26th of April just to display our cars. And then actually racing May 10th is our first Nitro Streetcar Brawl that we're going to be racing at Great Lakes Dragway. And we got a pretty busy schedule starting out. we're 16th and 17th, the Spring Nostalgia Race down at the Mid-States Dragway in Havana, Illinois. And then we're going to be back at Great Lakes Dragway on May 24th for the Memorial Day Classics. And in June, we got another streetcar brawl on the 7th. And then we got Gary's Hot Rod Reunion, which will be a swap meet out in Union Grove. They're doing that at the fairgrounds on the 21st. And then we do our race, our out-of-sight drags on the 27th, 28th of June. Something we're doing different this year. We're going to do for the racers, we're going to do a couple heads-up races that are out-of-sight drags. So we're going to try to qualify on Friday and take 16 of the cars that are the quickest, or I should say the quickest, 16 of the cars that have the closest ET to each other. And if they want to do it, it'll be a heads-up race, and that'll be a cash race, $1,000 for the winner, $500 for the runner-up. And then we're going to do a fast class, which will be dragsters. It'll be dragsters, altereds, or maybe some fast door cars, the real quick ones that are under 5 seconds in the 8th mile. We're going to do another race for those also, try to pick 16 of those cars, and then $1,000 to win and $500 for runner-up. And that won't be any additional fee. Pay for the weekend to come out and race and hang out. And if you make the 16 field, it won't cost you anything more to enter the race. So something that we're going to try to do and try to keep that going during the middle of the day when a lot of the drivers in the heat of the day don't want to make passes. It'll give us a little incentive to do a race and do a heads-up race going down the track. So keep the spectators entertained.
And the schedule, we've got it up there. Ken put it up on the screen and is sharing it with everybody out there. And the schedule is available now on the website, and everybody can go there. They can find it out. And like you always say, and like Randy always says, it might be tweaked a little here or there, or there might be something added someplace, but it's basically there for the whole season of what's happening. And once they open up there, it looks like the opening special, as you mentioned, starting April 5th and going through the 19th. But the only date I see closed in April is April 20th for Easter Sunday.
Yeah.
And that's also happens to be my birthday, so we'll just have a big birthday party that day, and we won't do any racing. But
there you go. That sounds good.
See how many Easter eggs we can find. So, again, where can folks go to find out more information about Great Lakes Dragway besides next weekend? And again, you can remind them where you guys are going to be next weekend.
Yep, next weekend we'll be down at the Rosemont Convention Center, down at Stevens Convention Center, Rosemont Horizon down in Chicago for the World of Wheels. We'll be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then we'll have a booth there. Got a couple booths right next to each other, so there'll be, like I say, schedules there if you want to pick them up, and some other flyers on the main events. We got a couple main event flyers for the good stuff going on. But if not, best place to go, if people go on Facebook, go to the Great Lakes Dragway Facebook page, because that's updated really, really fast. If something's coming up or if there's a change, you can get it there. And then if not, just go to the website that's shown on the screen there. And if you have any questions, you can call. The number's 262-878-3783. There's always somebody there answering the phone if you got some questions about things.
Yep. 9 times out of 10, the promoter, the owner, Randy, answers his own phone.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, he does. And they always have fuel for sale. It's kind of funny. People in the middle of the winter out there buying fuel, they have like 25 different varieties of fuel out there. And some guys running their engines on the dyno and that. So they come out there and get some 5-gallon cans of fuel.
There you go. Well, again, we appreciate you joining us. I know, you heard me mention earlier, there's some things that we're going to be working with Great Lakes Dragway on doing with some of the oval track racers. They're going to have a little friendly competition with the straight racers, and we're going to see if we can build some beds for Sleep in Heavenly Peace at some point during the summer. And so we're going to kind of look forward to that. And we got some car shows coming up. Do have the car show coming up. I know, John, that you know about it and have been spreading the word to everybody. Yeah. Right here, it's down at the Waukegan Harbor Marina on May the 4th. That's going to be here before we know it. And I guarantee you, John, it's going to be warmer than it was last year.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know the weather wasn't too nice then. Yeah, that was for sure.
Well, that's why we pushed it into May, and we're hoping that it's a little bit warmer this year. So, John, always appreciate you joining us. And Mr. President, we're going to let you get to more important matters for our country right now.
Yeah, I picked up some executive orders here. That's no breakage this year at all for the whole season. We're going to have no parts breakage. Everything's going to go good here.
No parts breakage and no rain.
No rain and no part. There you go. I like that. Yeah.
All right. Thanks again, John. Appreciate your updates, and we'll be talking to you. Well, we'll talk off air, but we'll talk to you in April.
Sure. Sounds good.
Thanks a lot, John. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye. Again, that was John Reidenbach joining us, representing Great Lakes Dragaway. And they, again, are going to be down at the Rosemont Convention Center. All kinds of information this coming weekend. So stop by and see them. And then they've got their banquet coming up at the end of the month, kind of starting things off by remembering what they did last year in 2024. So, and I'm looking forward to being over at Great Lakes Dragaway on the mic from time to time. Looking forward to that as well. So, all righty, we're now going to shift gears, and we're going to bring in Joe Palmisano from the Southeastern Wisconsin Short Track Hall of Fame. And they've got a lot of things going on up there in Hartford, Wisconsin. And we see Joe's name, but Joe is dark.
I'm dark. I want to apologize. I'm actually in a car. I just got out. My wife and my son Lewis, we went out to dinner and to celebrate my birthday tomorrow. And I'm in a parking lot right now in a car. So
no problem. Audio's working great, so that's the main thing. So, and I know that there's, there's already been some events up at the Hall of Fame up there in Hartford, but there's some other things coming up in March and early April. So we wanted to get you on to see if you could kind of enlighten everybody on what's happening.
Great. The big one coming up this month is the 22nd of March. We have our annual Young Racers special event there. And we gather. It's a very, I think it's a kind of a unique event that we've had now. I want to say 5 or 6 years. We had a few years prior to COVID, and then we started it back up a few years after COVID. And what it does is it brings in a lot of young racers, be it go-kart drivers, some young sprint car racers, modified drivers, or whatever they run. Micros, anything. We allow them to bring their cars, vehicles on display inside the museum, which is kind of unique because you're right alongside a lot of classic cars and also the Hall of Fame, the Southeastern Wisconsin Short Track Hall of Fame. And it gives them the opportunity to promote themselves, their sponsors, and the tracks that they race at,
Yeah, and it's a great event, and it does look like right now, and that I might be able to make it up. I've got it penciled in on my calendar to try and make it up there.
Great.
For the event. Looking forward to that. And I'll tell you, the Hall of Fame. I've said it many times on our program. If you haven't been to that Hall of Fame yet, you really got to make the road trip. Even if it's, for me down here in Antioch, it's about an hour and a half or so, but it's definitely worth the drive. You cannot, and you can't see everything that's in that building in one day. I can assure you that. I don't care if you go in there when they open and stay till they close and don't eat. You can't do it. I mean, besides the racing stuff, there's a lot of other things. There's the model trains. There's the old vintage kind of cars, classic cars. There's a huge steam engine locomotive. I mean, you'd be surprised what's in that building. So, encourage folks to go there. I'm blessed and fortunate to have been inducted into the Hall of Fame, and but it's. And speaking of that, I know nominations are currently being accepted. So maybe you could touch a little bit on how you do nominate somebody, what they need to do if they want to nominate somebody for the Hall of Fame.
Sure. Our Facebook page is probably the best thing on the Southeastern Wisconsin Short Track Hall of Fame Facebook page, or even on our new website that we just created. We've had it for over a year now. There are links that you can get the nominee your it's a slip that you have to fill out. It needs to be filled out entirely, and it needs to be sent to. We've got a PO box now where we'll send them out. We have a group of nominee it's a separate board from the Hall of Fame board that go through the names and see and then select a certain amount. I believe it's 10 to 12 people. Then they turn it over to our board and we go from there. But it's if you're going to do something like that, I would strongly suggest doing it soon. The 31st of March is the deadline that they have to be postmarked to send in your possible nominations. Yeah, it's coming up quick. And then, at that time is when we start going through it and send them out to our board or separate board. And they go through them and then they return with what they feel the people that they feel need to would be a good idea to be inducted.
And then they're put on a ballot, correct? And then
Correct.
Then the people can actually vote online through a system. Is that still going to be the case this year?
Correct. It's still going to be the case. We'll do the online voting. That seems to work the best. The paper ballots, we've had issues through the years with some paper ballots, and this, although there's no foolproof way of, but this, the way they do the voting and is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't had any really issues with that at all that I could see.
Right. So again, if you've got somebody, and it can be a driver, it can be a crew member, it could be a car owner. Another category I've seen is a race promoter, announcers like myself and Todd Baling have gotten on, been inducted. The late Jack Biddison, Jack at Trackside, Roger Miller. There's a lot of folks in different parts of the motorsports world that have been fortunate enough to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Steve Sinclair, and then Steve obviously going to be inducted into the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame in May, yes. Which is a great honor for him and a tip of the hat to him. But and also supporters of racing, Faye Hendricks. And I kept saying that she was being inducted into the Hall, and she corrected me. She said, "I'm not being inducted into the Hall. I'm receiving an achievement award from the Hall."
Yes.
Still, if you want to nominate somebody like a Faye, would you use that same form, or would you just send an email, or go ahead?
No, it would be the same form, Mike, and just. The biggest thing is, like you just said it before, it does not have to be a race car driver. It could be, like you said, a crew guy or a guy who built cars. There's so many different varieties of people that have been inducted into the Hall of Fame. Billy Hoffman, a sign painter who's lettered hundreds and thousands of cars through the years. Things like that. It can be anybody. There's no specific categories,
right? And you don't have to. And none of the people have to be quote retired or no longer doing whatever they're being inducted for.
No, we kind of, when we look at the names, though, we kind of feel, there were certain names that's like, well, they're still racing, and we kind of, it's kind of hard to do that. I know there are some Hall of Fames that you have to be retired so many years. I believe it's the NASCAR, like 5 years retired before you are nominated for that Hall of Fame. But yeah, you don't have to be retired, but you have to have a good. If you're a race car driver, you have to have a good record. It's wins. Championships is a big thing, and It like I said, it's a big variety, and you'd be surprised the names that come up. When we see them, there's quite a few that I don't recall, but we've got other board members. Oh, this guy raced. It's like, wow. It's really interesting.
Yeah, for sure. So again, we're going to wrap it up here so that you can, and an early happy birthday to you.
Thanks, Mike.
You're still not catching up to me, but you'll get there eventually. But anyway, again, where folks can go to find out more information on the events coming up, and if you want to, hit those events one more time that are coming up real soon. And then, again, where folks can go for more information if they want to nominate or find out more about the Hall of Fame.
The Southeastern Wisconsin Short Track Hall of Fame website is an awesome website that we have. Like I said, we just, about a year ago, we just rebuilt the website. And our great board member, Brendan Ostrowski, he kind of took it over. And he's doing a phenomenal job on our Facebook. Also, the Facebook page, if you want to get a nominee slip, you can do that. Either way, you can print it out, or you can do do it online. So it's done that way. But if you're going to do it, like I said, the 31st of March is the deadline for that. But like I said, we got that event coming up the 22nd of March, the Young Racers. We've got right now about, I believe, 20 carts, cars, vehicles, and drivers, young racers that are planning to be there on the 22nd. And more are coming. They're emailing me, they're texting me, and so it looks to be a good turnout. Usually we get about 300 people that event to show up and walk around and check things out. So.
Well, that'll be fantastic. And again, you guys do an excellent, fantastic job up there at the Hall of Fame. Induction's going to be November 6th. Is that about right?
Yeah, I think it's the second. Actually, I think it's the first Saturday of November. It always is the first Saturday of November.
Okay, and
that's induction.
So get those nominations in, and then when's the voting take place then? Do you have a date on that yet?
The voting, I believe we're going to do it. I want to say we wrote that down. I want to say it's going to probably be in July.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do the voting. We'll announce the names, and we'll have it publicized. You'll get the list as well at that time, so you can publicize it.
Sure.
And we'll have the names. Then we'll start the voting, and that'll be, like you said before, online voting. Like I said, we have no issues. We've had very few issues, I should say, with that voting. So it works out pretty decent. So.
Yep, for sure. So we'll be looking forward to that. And do you have a date for the golf outing yet? We had a lot of fun at the golf outing last year.
Yes.
I was with Dave Olson and Steve Sinclair and Cody Tennyson. I mean, we had a lot of fun.
No, we have not set the date. Actually, we have a board meeting a week from tomorrow. So we're going to be discussing a bunch of stuff going on, this summer, what we're going to do. The golf outing is definitely one of them. That's always a big hit for a lot of people. A lot of people like going to that. So, yeah, we're going to be discussing that and getting stuff situated. We're going to be already moving into getting stuff ready for the induction ceremony next week, too, on what we're, planning ahead on getting stuff around the inductees. Next week we're going to start on that, too. So. Okay,
well, and one more thing before I'm going to let you go here and you get back with the family, because family is very important. The big news on Slinger this last week of Slinger being sold. And do you know any more insight? I know they said they would be announcing soon who the actual buyers were. But I've also heard from a very good source that they're not going to change any of the schedule for 2025. The new owners are going to basically adopt the schedule that Todd and his staff had put together. So nothing's going to change for this year. Other than that, I have heard it's a former driver and his family that do live in the area that purchased it. But I've been given a name, but I don't want to divulge it unless it's out there public yet.
Yeah, exactly. We talked about that actually yesterday amongst the board members, and we've got an idea who it is, but we don't want to, like you said too. And I want to personally thank Todd and his wife from for all the support that they do at Slinger Speedway, how they support the Hall of Fame, the members there. You know, they allow us to do our 50-50 raffles there, and which is the Hall of Fame's one of their biggest incomes is the 50-50 raffles at Slinger Speedway, and they've done such a great job supporting us throughout the years, and it's going to be sad to see them go. They're, like I said, I want to thank them. They've done so much for us for the Hall of Fame and that, and but like you said, as long as the track stays there, we'll be fine. I think. You know, I hate seeing tracks go away, and no matter what kind of track it is.
Right. Well, and actually, we'll probably talk with him a little bit more, and with Dick Colburn when we get Jeff Wessel on here. But of course, it is now, pretty much confirmed. This is it for Beaver Dam Raceway.
Yeah.
Yep. It's their farewell season. They've got some nice events scheduled. It's just kind of the way things are going. So. And we just lost Rockford,
Yep.
and there's some other tracks that have been talked about. So, hey, people got to get out and support their local short track.
100%, in that way too, there was a go-kart track that we traveled to Quincy, Illinois, that just closed last year too. That's one of the oldest tracks in sprint karting that we've been there. And like I said, any track, what it is, no matter if it's dirt, asphalt, road racing, drag racing, you can never see them go away because it's so hard to build a new one.
That's right.
It's so hard.
That's for sure. That's for sure. So, all right. Well, we're excited, for the involvement with you folks again up at the hall. Anything we can do to help get the word out, reach out to me, Joe, and we'll get the word out of what's happening. And like I say, we're looking forward to maybe coming up there. Right now, it's on my calendar.
All right.
For March 22nd. So I'll be looking forward to seeing you on March 22nd.
All right. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on, Mike. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Joe. Take care. God bless, and happy birthday again.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, well, we actually have Mr. Nathan Crane joining us on the phone. So we've done this already this year a couple of times. So we're gonna see if we can do this again this time. So I'm gonna put him on speaker. And Kent, I need some kind of, so I know that this is working. Are we working, Kent?
Can you guys hear me?
You can even break in on the screen there, Kent, if you need to.
We cannot hear him.
We cannot. Okay, I'm going to pull the headset off.
You able to hear me, Mike?
I can hear you.
We've lost you now. Still can't hear you, Mike. Still nothing. We've lost you all together.
Now I'm back.
There you are.
Okay, how about him?
Can you hear me? Hello? Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, can you hear both of us?
Okay, now can you hear all of us?
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Did you hear him?
He's very faint now.
Okay, I'll move him. Is that better?
Hello, testing, 1, 2, 3.
It's better.
Okay. I'm not sure where my mic is on my laptop. All right. Well, we're going to try it this way. Nathan Crane joining us, and he's a new uncle. Let's start off with that. You need to give us a baby update.
Yeah, super excited. I gave my other brothers to be uncles, and I was asking when is it going to be my turn to become an uncle. And me, Cooper, and Lauren, we actually just my wife and I, we saw Derek and Ashley's kid Landon at the hospital when he was born, and then just today, me and my wife Lauren, we had taken our son Cooper to meet his cousin. So that went over real well, and obviously Landon's not doing much, but just eating, sleeping, and pooping, as we all do. But Cooper was very fascinated, and it was a good time today.
All righty. Sounds great. Well, please pass on our congratulations and best wishes. And I'm sure we're going to see him at a racing event soon. And speaking of a racing event, we've got the Midwest Racers event next weekend. So update folks on what's happening there.
Yeah, no, it's just another fantastic scheduled event planned to be. We're predicting over 50 racers all over the Midwest come on to it. And we got a lot of new exciting things. We got a race director now. We also have the continual powder puff race along with a seasoned veterans race. That's added new this year. It's going to be 50 years or older entered into a race, and they duke it out. So we get to watch some really cool stuff, and you're never too old or too young to learn new tricks. So I'm excited to learn some stuff there and watch them. We also have a race of champions that's going to happen. It's all the event winners plus a random chosen. Well, it's not random. It's chosen by the best results in the past annual events. But if you guys are super interested on doing it, go to the 6th annual Midwest Racers page on Facebook, and all the information's on there. It's $125 to just race. It's $150 if you want to have unlimited food, drinks. There's raffles and stuff. Come on over. It's a damn good time, and that's what we got going on.
Okay, and then the event is next Saturday, correct?
It is, March 8th. If you're going to be there, plan to be there at 4 p.m.
Okay, and again, the location?
It is going to be the K1 Waukesha. It's technically, it is Waukesha, but it might show up on Google or Google Maps as Milwaukee. That is the correct one. But like I said, if you visit the Facebook page, all the information's on there. When to be there, what to bring, what you don't need to bring, what's covered, all that fun stuff.
And I know you've got a lot of marketing partners. I was just with Mark Maglio yesterday, and he said he's figuring out the logistics to get you his banner because he's on board again this year. Any other marketing partners you want to get out there while I've got you on the air?
Yeah, Brian from Super Shocks. Then we have B&O Office with Scott from the Bandits at Wilmot. He's jumped on this time. Huge thank you to him. He's actually going to bring all the tables and chairs for everyone to get nice and cozy. So can't thank him enough. Johnny's East Poorhouse, MLS Auto Clinic, and like you just mentioned, Mark and Tony from Body Crafts. Super thankful and happy with all the past, the present, and future sponsor of this great event, because I mean it. I'm not just saying it. Like, without them, it would not be happening. I don't have the funds to fork out that kind of money, and so without them, this wouldn't be happening. So I can't thank them enough.
And this year, you're also is it going to be on live on Badger TV? That's with correct. Lauren Kelly?
It was such a huge hit last year. We had over 6,000 people watch it live, and I believe 10 or 11,000 overall watched it from the weekend. So it's a huge hit, and we're going to do it again this coming Saturday. So if you can't make it, then definitely go on to Badger Racing TV, and we'll broadcast it there. Also, it'll be broadcasted on our Facebook page. We'll share the link, so that way, in case you don't know where to go, you can just go on Facebook.
All righty. Sounds great. Well, again, Nathan, best wishes to you for a great event. I'm actually going to be at the
state girls basketball championships in Bloomington Normal next weekend, so I can't join you, but I'll be thinking of you guys, and I'll be looking forward to checking in on the broadcast.
Sounds good. We'll miss you, but enjoy the championship. And Mike, as always, I love what you do. God bless, and take care.
Thanks. Take care. God bless. We'll see you. Bye-bye. Bye. Again, that was Nathan Crane joining us, and I'm going to switch a bunch of stuff here real quick. And Mr. Kent.
Okay, let me know that I'm okay. Am I on?
Sound good.
Okay. All righty. Do I have somebody in the green room? I hope. Hefner Racing Products out of Hartford, Wisconsin, I hope is joining us on the green room. Mr. Jeff Wessel. And there's Dick Colburn. Jeff, are you in the same room with Dick?
Mike, I am right next to Dick Colburn, and we're going via cell phone for this round. And I figured it'd be great to start off with Mr. Colburn.
All righty. Sounds great. Appreciate that, Jeff, and appreciate you helping to logistically make this happen, along with Dick's niece and nephew. I think are also helping us out. Dick, obviously, congratulations. You're in the Hall of Fame. And I'll tell you, Hefner Racing Products and the Streeter Superstands, they do a lot for racing. They are involved with a lot of folks, a lot of different types of racing. But I'll tell you, I've known you for quite a while. I think when we met, I don't think we had this color hair anymore, back then. I think we were a little different colored hair at that time. But I'll tell you, you've had a great career. I was blessed to be able to call a lot of your races. And it's great to have you on here. And now we've got an event that has got your name on it coming up in April. So tell us a little bit about that event and how you feel about having a race named in your honor.
That's quite an honor. I believe it's May 3rd is the day it's going to be. I really didn't know anything about this. It's quite a surprise to me. My nephew Rod, who was Tommy Colburn's dad, he worked with Chris Klemko, I believe, in organizing all of this. And boy, I just couldn't be happier. It's really neat to have something like this. I mean, like going into the Hall of Fame was such an honor. And then to have it keep going like this, I still, to this day, have people ask me for autographs. I can't believe that.
Yep, the racing fireman from Muskego. And I'll tell you, you have just been such a class act throughout your racing career. And even after, you were done driving, you've been involved. I see you in the pits. I have seen you around the Hefner boys when they were racing and some of the different drivers that have driven for Hefners over the years. And you always seem to be there to try and give them whatever insight they wanted. Is it a situation where they come to Dick asking him for questions, or you just kind of jump in there and say, why don't you try this?
They pretty much come to me and ask questions. And when I worked with Todd after I retired from racing, I put cars together and stuff for Todd and Troy. And I was totally involved in that. But since Tommy started racing with Rod here, whatever, I've kind of stepped back and retired and become a spectator and a tag along in the pits, but there's still always questions they're asking me for, advice here and advice there and stuff. And they're starting to do a pretty good job. I can't wait to see Tommy in a 410 this year. Sure, he's going to be pretty good. He's a pretty good shoe.
Well, and the season opens up for Wilmot. It's Wilmot's 75th anniversary season, and it opens up with the Dick Colburn Classic, featuring the bumper-to-bumper IRA sprints, the Wisconsin wingless, the Lightning sprints, and I believe also on the schedule that I've got here in front of me is the Wing 604s, the new class that Wilmot's gotten put together the last couple of years. We're not going to use it though. We were talking about that earlier. The president from Great Lakes Dragway put out an executive order. We're not going to have any rain this year. But there is a rain date. There is a rain date for it of May 4th. But hopefully we don't have to use it. Although if we do have to use it, that is in the evening. We'll still have the motorsports and car show down at the lake in Waukegan, so folks can come down to the lake and then go on up to Wilmot. It's only about 20 minutes from Waukegan. It's not far at all. But it's a great event that we're looking forward to having at Wilmot to open up the season and open up the IRA in this local area. The IRA's got some other events in April, but they're not really that close to the track where they started. And that was Wilmot.
The intent of this was Rod wanted to celebrate my first championship at Wilmot, which was 1975. It was 50 years. And so he painting the car, the sprint car, as near to that car as he could. And he's going to carry my number 9 that I carried most of my career. And that was kind of neat that he's doing that. The car is going to really look nice. You'll like it when you see it. Yeah.
Now, you've driven a little bit of everything at Wilmot and around the Midwest over the years. You've driven the winged cars. You've driven the super modifieds, the old supers of the 70s. You've driven the MRA style modifieds. Anything I'm forgetting?
Lightning sprints.
Yeah. That was one year that I drove a Lightning Sprint and a sprint car both in the same night. And there was another year I drove a modified and a sprint car both in the same night, all season long. So that was kind of nice. I did drive a late model a couple times. Ted Dolan gave me a ride in one of his cars, and I got to drive it one night. And then the next night, John Haydock out of Illinois, who Kenny Schrader was racing his car in USAC, and he called me, asked me if I wanted to drive his sprint cars with a wing on it. So we went up for one of the Wilmot specials, and I did real good that first night I drove that car. I led the thing for quite a while, and we had a header break off, and I had to pull out. I wanted to save his engine. He had beautiful engines, but that was a shame. But yeah, I've been in most everything. I drove a midget. I drove stuff. The only thing I never drove that I really wanted to was a dirt champ car. I never got the opportunity.
Well, I'll tell you, like I say, you're a class guy, and your family and your wife, Nancy, I mean, you guys have been around racing for almost as long as I have. I mean, and you've raced different racetracks, and I'm sure Wilmot is close to your heart because you've had so much success there. And I guess we could almost remove Wilmot out of the picture. What would be your next most favorite racetrack that Dick Colburn raced at?
Well, I grew up 2 miles from Hales Corners, and that's where I drove my first race and drove until they quit in 73, was it 72? I forget. But so that was always kind of one of my favorite tracks, being close to home. But as I grew older and went up, then I always considered Wilmot my home track after that. Like I say, I've driven about every different kind of track you can think of, from high banks to flat tracks to whatever. I kind of would have liked to try more asphalt, although I'm a dirt guy by heart. But I've only raced asphalt maybe 15, 18 times in my life. And I remember winning 5 of them. And I won on flat tracks like Lake Geneva. I won on high bank half miles like Capitol Speedway. I almost won on a mile track. I almost won on the Sherrville down in Illinois. So, I mean, I probably should have tried a little more asphalt, but still I'm a dirt guy.
There you go. And how long was the racing fireman the racing fireman? How long were you a fireman in Muskego?
I did that for 30 years. It was kind of a neat situation. Through my early years of modifieds, I finished around 15th for maybe 6-8 years in a row or something. It was quite a few years. And it was because I could only make so many races. I missed quite a few because I was on duty at the firehouse. So.
Well, that was, maybe you should have seen if they would have given you a change of venue and put you on the Wilmot Fire Department, and you could have been on call down at Wilmot.
Yeah.
So, advice that Dick Colburn would give to somebody who's just starting out in racing, maybe they haven't even tried to race a car on an oval track yet. Or they're a youngster, they're a teenager, or even younger, and they're interested in racing. What would you recommend to them?
The first thing I would tell them is spend the most money on safety equipment. The second thing I would tell them is get started as early as you can. Like when I started, I owned race cars when I couldn't even go in the pits. I had Paul Schomburg, I don't know if anybody remembers his name, drove for me before I was 21. I would take the car to the pit gate and stop and get out, and they'd get in, go into the races, and I'd go sit in the stands, So at 21, I got to start racing myself, and nowadays at 21, the kids got 10 years experience, So it's good to get started as early as possible.
Yep, yeah, and nowadays, I mean, we've had a champion in the IRA and in the wingless division, who was 15, it's a little bit different today than it was back then. You've got.
And I remember I won what was considered a pretty big race at Hales Corner Speedway Classic in 1970, and at the time I was 26, I believe. But on the newspaper headline, they had it as "Young Dick Coburn wins the classic."
There you go. There you go. So now, when you go to the races now, watching family race or watching, being involved with people that do you go there more as a fan now, or is the mind still okay? You may want to try this, you may want to adjust this on the car, you may want to do this. What does Dick Colburn do when he's at the races now?
Well, if I'm there with, say, like Tommy or that racing, I'm definitely into the car. I want to give you advice, stuff like that. But oftentimes, if they're off races somewhere else, my Saturday night will be in the stands at Wilmot probably, and then I just enjoy the races.
Well, there you go. So, I'm going to be at Wilmot from time to time this year. I'm going to mainly be doing the IRA divisions, the wingless or the lightnings, or at the Dick Colburn Classic. I'll be up there joining Maddie and Lauren, I'm sure, for part of the evening. But I'll tell you, one of these times when you don't have to worry about Tommy's car, and you're there at Wilmot as a fan, and if I'm on the mic, I want you to come up and be on the mic with me. We can chat a little bit as the night goes along. How's that sound, Dick?
Oh, it'd be my pleasure. I'll be sure to do that,
All right. Well, I'll make sure that happens. So we're going to let you, we're going to kind of sort of shift over to Jeff. I don't know how we're doing this. We've got, is he there? Surprise, he's there. So
I'm
Jeff,
here.
Again, thanks for helping to coordinate this, and thanks for all the things the Hefner Racing Products has done over the years for racing and the Hefner family. And but now that we got the Dick Colburn Classic coming up May 3rd at Wilmot, but we've got a big event before that coming up at Beaver
A week
Dam.
prior.
So tell us a little bit about that event, Jeff.
Absolutely. And first of all, hard act to follow. And I'm sitting literally right next to Dick Colburn, and to be on stage right after him. Oh my goodness. That's like following, of course, the greatest of all time. So good interview. I want to thank the Hefner family. We're literally at the broadcasting studios of Todd and Christy and Riley Hefner's house. We are having a World of Outlaw viewing party tonight, as well as the Let's Go Racing Show interview. So thank you, Mike, for having us on. And yeah, absolutely want to talk about the April 26th Glenn Hefner Memorial as part of the Final 5 of Beaver Dam Raceway. And what a great way to salute our patriarch and pay honor to a absolutely great man with 3 great series of racing. How can you top the IRA Sprint Cars, the Badger Midgets, and the Dirt King Late Models? Looking forward to the event. It's going to be bittersweet. I'm sure there'll be tears shed. Not only, of course, on behalf of Glenn Hefner and the entire Hefner family, our employees at Glenn Hefner Incorporated and Hefner Racing Products, but also realizing that we're part of the final 5 events of a very historical track.
Yeah, that's for sure. And having been parts of track's final events over the years, it is bittersweet. I mean, we hope a lot of people come out because you're not going to have a chance to come out again. So you want to come out that night. You can get information on the Beaver Dam Raceway's website, and they've got all the information on tickets, starting times, and all that kind of thing. And I was fortunate enough to announce Glenn when he was racing. Obviously, I announced Dick. I announced both of the Hefner boys at various times, and I even announced you. And like I said, I got some pictures. I should have broken them out. They're actually to my left here in our studio. I've got some pictures of you racing, and me racing against you. So that was fun.
See, now that's awesome, Mike, because not only, yes, you and I have literally raced together, and I jokingly say I am honored and privileged that Dick Holborn, still a great employee of our facility at Hefner Racing Products, and I it's not even jokingly saying, it's legitimately, I can't recall a time I ever was even close enough to pass the guy when he was racing lightning sprints with us. He was that good. He is that good. He's still amazing. Probably the only time I maybe have gotten by him when we were pulling off the racetrack after a checkered flag, and I rolled by him, maybe getting to our trailer. But yeah, it's really cool to be a part of the greatness. Dick's sitting next to me. Mike, you've been a mentor of mine, not only announcing, and boy, have we had a lot of fun between racing together and what will forever be etched in my memory, the Let's Go Racing Motorsports show back in the mall days.
Well, we're going to be down at the lake this year on May 4th. So hopefully we race on May 3rd at Wilmot with the Dick Colburn Classic, and then everybody can stay overnight and just keep partying if they want, and then come down to the lakefront in Waukegan on Sunday, and we'll just keep celebrating. I do want to ask you though, and again, condolences certainly go out to the Hefner family. And Glenn was, super guy, and the Hefners have just been involved in racing a lot. You mentioned that off air that there might be some construction going on up there.
That I can elaborate on, and pardon me, I'm our camera guy. Might have a rum or two in them, but yes, the plan is in this spring, once weather breaks and things are ready, there will be an addition going up at Glenn Hefner Incorporated, or as I will always say, Hefner Racing Products. So yeah, that's the full plan. The building expansion, things are looking great for the company, and we could not be more thankful for, of course, our bosses, the Hefner family, and our amazing employees to continue the success of our company. It's great to be a part of this.
And now, your company, and it was kind of sad that I was there for the memorial, but you were, and the Hefner boys were kind enough to allow you to give me the insider's tour that Kathy and I got while we were there. It's amazing what you've got there. It's unbelievable, and people don't realize what you have there.
It really is amazing, and I just celebrated my 16th year working for this wonderful company and family. Somehow they still continue to let me show up every day and do my job, which I love doing with my great staff and coworkers. To see the growth and what the family, what the boys, Todd and Troy, really put into this, not even Todd and Troy, it's the entire Hefner family, all the way around, that have focused on the success of our company on the racing side of things, and of course the industrial side. It's great. I mean, without all of our customers, our racing family locally, across the United States, internationally, it's been a great ride, and it's continue this success and the expansion I look forward to, because I believe that's going to open us up many more doors, and I would say in the future, hopefully some more great announcements that we can share with you.
That'll be fantastic. And again, where can folks go to find out more about Hefner Racing Products and everything that you do up there?
Easiest website in the world, hrpracing.com. It will show you all of our great products that we carry online. And of course, I want to remind people, wismotorsports.net, WIS Motorsports for Beaver Dam Raceway for the Glenn Hefner Memorial on April 26th.
Okay, so we got 2 big weekends to open up the season in the Midwest. Beaver Dam Raceway on the 26th of April, and then the Dick Colburn Classic on May 3rd. I'm going to toss this to Dick, and then if you can move the camera, that's fine. Dick, I don't know if you heard. I know we got to get going pretty quick in time here, but I got to throw this at you, Dick. There's 2 guys, and I've heard maybe even 3 guys that you raced against and probably beat from time to time, and they might have beat you from time to time, that are bringing cars out of mothballs for Founders Night on Memorial Day weekend, May 23rd at Wilmot Raceway, when presented by Bodycraft. John Tierney, Joe Christian, and Jim Mullis are bringing cars out and going to take a few laps. And as Joe Christian said, when you put those 3 guys on a racetrack, it's not just going to be a few laps. They're going to be racing. You've got access to a car, Dick. Maybe, where's Nancy? Don't tell her I'm asking you to do this. Would you like to get behind the wheel of a car on Founders Night and go out there with some of your former competitors?
Well, I'm going on 82 now, and I think that putting me in the seat of a race car again would be like giving a drink to an alcoholic. But I would have a hard time turning it down. We'll see.
Okay, I like that answer. Because I'll tell you what, if we can't get you in a car on the track, I can assure you we can get you with me on the microphone for that. So we're going to get you involved in that Founders exhibition somehow. Well, Dick, Jeff, I was excited when we were able to put this together. Jeff, again, thank you very much, and thank the Hefners for it as well. Dick, thank you for taking your time and being a very, very dear friend in racing all these years. I'm getting a little emotional because you are one of the classiest guys I ever met in racing. So thank you for that.
My pleasure, Mike. It's been a thrill to know you all my life.
All righty, and we'll look forward to seeing you on May 3rd at Wilmot, and I'm sure we'll probably see you on April 26th up at Beaver Dam as well. Thanks a lot.
Hey, Mike.
Yes, Mr. Jeff.
Thank you, brother. Love you much. Have a great continued rest of your show. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Jeff. Take care. God bless. Tell everybody up
Bye,
there
guys.
I said hello.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye. Okay, that's going to wrap up just a fantastic show. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did tonight. We covered a little bit of everything, and that's what we do here at the Let's Go Racing Motorsports Report. I am looking forward to being part of the Dick Colburn Classic at Wilmot on May 3rd. And also, I'm hoping to at least be there as a fan or possibly helping out in some way on April 26th up at Beaver Dam Raceway. So that's going to wrap it up for this week's show and this month's show. So we do wish you all the very best. We'll be back on the first part of April. I'm still kind of logistically working everything out. We had a birthday earlier, and I've got to wish my wife, Kathy, a belated happy birthday. Her birthday was this last Wednesday. And like my mother always said, my late mother, Alice, used to always say, you've got 365 days to celebrate your birthday, and leap year, you got 366. So everybody that's got a birthday going or just had one, enjoy it. So until we see you next time, this is Mike Babicz wishing you a pleasant evening, the best of tomorrows. Remember, kids, just say no to drugs. Thanks. Good night. God bless. And let's go racing, everybody.